Hi, in this video, we're going to take a look at some more trig equations. Example 1D, we have secant squared of x equals 4. So we have something on the left being squared, and when we want to get rid of that squaring, we want to square root both sides. Now, keep it in mind that when we square root both sides of an equation, we have to consider the positive, and we also have to consider the negative. So we're not just going to get secant of x equals 2, we're going to get secant of x equals 2, or the secant of x equals negative 2. So if we look down our chart and find where is secant 2 and where is it negative 2, secant of x is 2 when x is 60 degrees and also when x is 300 degrees. It's negative 2 when x is 120 degrees or 240 degrees. So we have four angles that make our original equation true. So if we convert them to radians, here's what we get as our answers in radians. Example 1e, we have the tangent of x over 2 equals negative 3. Now, here we have an issue with this example because if we look down our chart, there's no exact values where the tangent equals negative 3. So in terms of that, we could just do inverse tangent of negative 3. We could set x over 2 equal inverse tangent of negative 3 plus 180n. Again, remembering that tangent's period is 180 degrees or pi radians. Now, inverse tangent of negative 3, or the arctan of negative 3, is about negative 143 degrees. So we can keep that in mind as we go through to get the exact values here. Multiplying everything on both sides by 2, we get x equals 2 times the inverse tangent of negative 3, and then plus 180 times 2 is 360n. So here we just multiplied this equation by 2 to get our values of x are 2 times the inverse tangent of negative 3 plus 360n. Now, over here to the right, I want to make a note that 2 times the inverse tangent of negative 3, or 2 times the arctan of negative 3, is about negative 286 degrees. So if we just left it at that, that initial value of negative 286 degrees, that's not between 0 and 360. So if we add 360 degrees to that, we'll get an angle between 0 and 360. So just taking 2 times the inverse tangent of negative 3 and adding 360 to that, we're going to get approximately 74 degrees. So 2 inverse tangent of negative 3 plus 360 is about 74 degrees, which is between 0 and 360. If we add another 360 to that, we're outside of that interval. So now we're just going to convert 360 degrees to radians, and we get x is 2 times the inverse tangent of negative 3 plus 2 pi. This is an exact answer. This is not an approximation. But I did want to include the approximations to help guide you along. All right, so that about does it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.